Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session Surare Portal. We have Sriram and Mrs. Anuradha Sriram with us. I hope you're all able to see us and hear us clearly. Without much of a delay, let me get started. Our guest for today is Mr. Sriram Subramanya.
Vasu?
Yeah, and Mrs. Anuradha Sriram, the entrepreneurial duo in 1994, and they've come a long way basically. So it's my pleasure to introduce both Mr. Sriram and Mrs. Anuradha Sriram. Sriram and Mrs. Anuradha Sriram, thanks for joining us today and welcome to the show. To give just a little bit of a background about Mr. Sriram and Mrs. Anuradha Sriram and about Integra in general. Integra, as I said earlier, is a 25-year-old company, and they are first-generation entrepreneurs. Interestingly, a couple who have taken the entrepreneurial route. And Integra has been a content publishing, more of a publishing transformation services firm, content services firm that has also branched into other areas. It is very interesting to note that both Sriram and Mrs. Anuradha Sriram have started Integra from Pondicherry, which is a two-tier city, as opposed to a place like Chennai. And there is a lot of learning that the attendees, including me, can have from them today in terms of how their journey has been so far, how did they bootstrap, how the whole thing happened, and things like that. Integra is today about 2,500 people in business, and they are a globally established company. They have offices in UK, USA, Japan, and everywhere. So I'm very, very happy to be spending the next 55 to 60 minutes with the entrepreneurial couple of Sriram and Mrs. Anuradha Sriram. So without getting any further delay, thanks once again and welcome to the show. Please say hi to all our attendees, and then I'll get started, Mr. and Mrs. Sriram.
Yeah, thanks Vasu for inviting us for this session. Hello everyone. So looking forward. So we'll be sharing our journey, as well as you can ask any questions in the end. So we are ready to share whatever our rich journey and experience.
Yeah, thanks, Vasu. I think it's a very good initiative what you have put across platform to share ideas and thoughts. Go ahead, Vasu. Hello to all the participants. Look forward.
There's a little bit of a trouble hearing you, Mrs. Anu. Okay. I was a little bit of a trouble hearing you. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I was saying it's a wonderful initiative what Zuci Systems has put, a good platform for people to connect and share ideas, and look forward to this session.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I have a few questions more towards your, spirit of women entrepreneurs and nurturing more of women empowerment and things like that towards, the second part of the session. But let me start off with this question to Mr. Sriram, actually. Mr. Sriram, tell us how did the idea of starting a company came to you, and, if you remember the exact moment, and what were the next steps that you did in order to get started?
Yes, Vasu. So actually, when I was studying the mechanical engineering in Annamalai University in the final year, my dream was to start on my own. So I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So in fact, I've attended some entrepreneurship program also that further accelerated my thinking process to start. Then after graduation, so I was meeting a lot of people to get their input. So what is a type of business and what is the right time to start? They all advise me to get at least 4 to 5 years of experience, then start the company. So I've taken their advice and joined in Chennai for as a graduate engineer trainee in auto ancillary unit. And there I worked as in various functions, whether it is process engineering, industrial engineering, production, so and maintenance, various functions. And by that time they expanded into, they are looking at for greenfield project in Bangalore. They have selected me. So I was in charge of the entire greenfield project in Bangalore. I was there a few years. That time got married as well with Anu. And again, they selected me for one more greenfield project in Pondicherry with a German collaboration. I undergone training in Germany and started. So both I have successfully completed. And by the time it was almost 8 years, then we have both our dream also to start on our own. So both we have discussed with many people. One is auto ancillary area where I had a previous experience. Second one is agriculture area, so agro-based industry, because that's our family background. And the third one is IT industry. So 3 areas we have explored, discussed with various people. So they all advised us to start into IT. IT is ocean. So which areas? Then we have looked at what is the requirement for Pondicherry that time. So we have decided on a DTP center. So that's how we have started with 5 people. DTP means Desktop Publishing Center. That's how we have started in small way. Today we are 2,000 plus. So Integra are working globally, and we have expanded in gradually in various areas. A lot of challenges. First 3 years, it's we have not made any profit. So whatever I had earned, so all invested. It's not sufficient. We have to sell Anu's jewelry also to further expand and sustain as a business. 4th year onwards, we have started making profit. So continuously today, so last 21, 22 years, we are continuously making profit, and we are able to do well. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So, I mean, you are from Pondicherry. Was that the reason why you chose Pondicherry as a location? Because when you talk about IT in '94, most people would have advised you to take up a Tier 1 city. So, what made you to choose Pondicherry? Could you give us some insights?
Yeah. So one is we are a first generation entrepreneur. It's a tier 2 town, like you have mentioned. So actually, I have studied in Tamil medium and a lot of challenges. So with all that, so we have decided in Pondicherry because that is a special requirement in that particular area. That's how we have decided to start in the tier 2. And then we want to expand into tier 1 cities and other places. That's how we have started. Initially, a lot of challenges, various challenges, but we have all overcome, including getting a ISDN line, internet lease circuit, all that. I had to go to Chennai, get the application form and fill up and then submit in Pondicherry. So that is how, so I have to educate them. So that's how we have got, even getting a telephone line, we have to wait for 4 or 5 years. That time I'm talking about 94, 95.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that 3-year struggle, Sriram, and probably Mrs. Anuradha can also add, because those are moments where, there is always this, am I doing the right thing? You're always surrounded by a lot of questions, and, your confidence goes for a toss. You question yourself. There are moments where there is despair and anguish and everything. How did you overcome those? What kept you going?
Anu, maybe.
Yeah. So, like those 3 years, like I always share, in fact, when we started Integra, like adding on to what you asked from the earlier question, we both were working in Bangalore, and this company started a greenfield project in Pondicherry. So that's one reason why we came back to Pondicherry. Though it was a blessing in disguise, those days I used to keep telling Sriram, you cheated me, got me married. I thought I'm going to live in Bangalore, and now you brought me back to Pondicherry. Jokes apart, but actually it was a big blessing in disguise. So when we started Integra, in fact, when the loan got sanctioned, in fact, I was admitted in the hospital for the delivery of my first son. So I used to feel, I always used to say it was like bringing up twins. So we both the company and our family grew together. Initially, even to get a premises, like looking at us, they thought we will give it up. Why these people? So we had to use recommendation to the house owner to get our first premises. But today also, though we have moved, I think some 5-6 times, we still have a special relationship with that first owner.
First
So his
owner, okay.
daughter also came to work in Integra, and he keeps telling,
Wow.
after when we wanted to vacate, he said, why don't you take one more floor also, I'll build and give. So,
Wow.
yeah, so those were unique challenges to get the bank loan. Those days, lot more documentation, bank guarantee, and like Sriram said, from getting connectivity, even a telephone line used to take, I think this generation cannot understand. Those days it used to take a long time to get even a telephone connection. So that was the kind of environment. I think most importantly, I think also since we were first generation entrepreneurs, so the first team which we came, so we were very luckily we got very hands-on, because suddenly one day some couple of people resigned all of a sudden due to some personal challenges. So because we learned the work, we could keep the customers going. So those the first 1 or 2 years, I guess we were first year was almost mostly students and small. Those times they used to have something called screen printing. So those type of customers only were our used to come. So we can imagine their livelihood if we don't give the work on time. So our beginnings were very humble. The second year onwards, we spotted the opportunity with overseas publishers. That in fact, I think second year also was more the university here, their distance education arm. So Integra was functioning like their extended arm. They were also starting, they didn't have their own premises, so all their distance education, you can imagine the amount of course material. So entire thing was handled, and then we also started working with publishers abroad. Then I think there was no turning back. That must have happened 3-4 years. But still, what kept us going, I think, was our passion to succeed. I think sacrificed holidays, I think weekends, everything was Integra. And so our requirements were very simple at the time. Everything was around the company. And you were asking whether there were moments when we doubted ourselves. In fact, my parents, because one of us had to keep the family going, the first year Sriram was working, he was doing double time. Daytime he used to work, evening he used to come to Integra every day. So that time, my parents were also asking, all your classmates, everyone are well settled abroad. Why you are coming midnight like this? What is why you want to go through all this hardship? You will even repay your loan, so don't worry about that loan. So there's a lot of anxiety in the family, especially since we also had a young baby in the family. And also a lot of relatives also. But I think we gave them the confidence, and for us personally, there was no doubt in our mind, though the people around had.
Just one challenge I want to add was.
Sure.
So that time, we started traveling also, US, UK. So I was having a roaming account, dial-up account. So I think we have to dial to internet to download emails and other stuff. It's very, very difficult. So because our communication to foreign customers, it's only by email. It's very difficult to connect Indian either BSNL or BSNL, whatever line that time. Because I had a global roaming account, it's called, still that company is the IPOS, that company. So I used to dial Singapore. So I'll get connected international dialing. So I'll download quickly mails, then we will disconnect. So that's how we have done business in the initial years.
Wow, very interesting. Thank you for that. Actually, very inspiring also. So when you started off as a desktop publishing entity, How was the competition like? And as you move towards digital, how did you handle competition, and how did you make some of this transformation over the years?
So initial few years, we were focusing on local business as well as foreign business. Second year onwards, gradually, third year onwards, gradually I started reducing. So local business. Then we have started focusing only foreign customers because the requirements are totally different. Here, Indian customers' requirements are different because they'll come just for 1 page, 2 page. So for work, designing and other stuff. There, foreign customers, it will be a multiple books, multiple journals. So it is a continuous streaming, and the quality expectations are different, and they are ready to pay more also. So everything is different. So gradually I stopped. Within 3 years, we have stopped our local business, started focusing only foreign customers. That's how we have started growing. And so when you have started growing, so we have to a lot of transformation, lot of changes you have to make in that process, whether it's a print to digital. So now digital to products. So everything is, so we are transforming each stage of our growth, Vasu.
Okay, interesting. I will come back to this question in a slightly different way in the last few years in terms of M&A and all that a little later. But I wanted to ask this question to Anu ma'am. So Integra won the 100 best companies for women in India and also the top 20 diversity champions, large enterprises for 5 consecutive years. So 50% of the workforce, as we understand in Integra, is women. Tell us a little bit about your initiatives around women empowerment and how did you build a workforce like this, Mrs. Anu?
So one is the publishing industry itself attracts a lot of women because it's a job which needs eye for detail and then lot of concentration. So while we were able to attract a lot of women at the entry level, in fact, we used to run our e-publishing program in a women's polytechnic. We had some academic tie-ups with women-only institutions and give them training as part of their academic education itself. It was getting women at the entry level is relatively easier, but then retaining them and then growing them within the organization is where we had a lot of challenge. And I think almost now 15 years back, we started something called Shakti Oli. Now, of course, we have renamed it as we went global to Wings Women in Integra Growth and Success, where a lot of initiatives have been taken to help the women balance both their career as well as family requirements. I personally used to see some lot of highly talented women leave the workforce because of non-organizational reasons, because of their challenges in managing family and the professional requirements. So we started a lot of initiatives, mainly under 2 or 3 major categories. One was on their health and well-being. So a lot of initiatives we have done, continuously we do for their health and well-being. In fact, in Integra, we have a lady doctor who visits us every day. So, but of course not during this COVID period. But so just giving an example of the kind of extent to which we take care of our women employees. And a lot of initiatives around learning and development. And I think one of the biggest is to grow women within Integra. So a lot of mentoring initiatives to grow the women. In fact, I was just when we were giving some data, it was really surprising that almost 40% now we've reached at a stage that 40% of the leadership position is women. So I think that was a big challenge. Of course, we still have a long way to grow. It's not in middle levels, the ratios are still lower, but at the entry level and senior level, it is high. So we identify high potential women and put them through mentoring programs, help them actually develop their own career plan and see what the organization has to do to support them. We keep a track of various metrics, how women are progressing, and it's really closely, even Sriram gets closely involved. We have external people also as part of the advisory committee for our Wings initiative. So it's almost part of the DNA of the organization. There's a lot of pride, both men and women. I should say the men in Integra also, all the senior leaders in the organization openly they support these initiatives.
Okay. And in terms of working out a career path for them and all that, there are there is an institutionalized manner in which Integra does it today, is it?
Yes. Over a period of time, we have built it. So where every year, there is a champion for this Wings committee, and there are various subgroups which work on these initiatives. So they carry specific goals to see that the percentages have to improve, either in terms of promotion or in terms of women taking additional responsibilities. So they identify women every year and they are put through external mentors. So in fact, this year we have something called the Jhansi Rani group, where one of our senior HR consultants, she's grooming a group of 6 to 8 women. So these initiatives are continuing.
Okay. Excellent. Another question for both of you. You said that you started making profits from the 4th year, and there has not been any looking back ever since. Was there a point where you are looking at investment from outside, or was it all from your own pocket? If you have raised investments, how did you manage to convince investors? Was it based on your roadmap or vision and things like that?
See, actually, we have started growing well. At one particular point of time, around 2004-5, so a lot of investment bankers started approaching. We said we are not even given appointments. So we said we don't require. We are already making profits. We are growing. So absolutely no issues. And suddenly, our one of the biggest customers started putting pressure because they want to give more work. So they want a bigger company, part of bigger company, not small or medium-sized company. So that's the time only we have realized, I think we require some sort of backing. So otherwise we are continuously growing. So one side, customer putting pressure. So other side, they are approaching. So we are not even given appointments. Then only we have realized, I think we should look at some backing is required, though funding is not required, for at least bigger brand name is required to showcase and then to expand. Maybe we have to take it to later to IPO and other thing. That's how. So a lot of investment bankers contacted us. We have not approached anyone. So they have contacted us, and then we met. So and we have finalized on IB banker, and he has introduced various PEs. So they have looked at and they have invested in our company. So that's how it has started. The investment happened in 2006, and continuously we were doing well. We are expanding. Again, though it's very structured, very process in the system to further professionalize. So like regular board meetings, so regular budget meetings, monthly MIS meetings, a lot of things we have streamlined based on their rich experience we have gained, and then we are able to do well. And yeah.
Okay, sure. We know that you are co-chairman of the CII Southern Region, where you also look to mentor new generation entrepreneurs and things like that. But if you had to reflect back on the past 25 years, and if you had to take 2-3 tips and tell new generation entrepreneurs as to how they can do better in their entrepreneurial journey, what are the 2-3 tips or learnings that you will give them, Sriram and Mrs. Anuradha Sriram?
So could you repeat? In between line was breaking, Vasu? Sorry.
He's asking
I was asking if you had to reflect on the past 25 years. Yeah, if you had to reflect on your learnings over the past 25 years and give some tips to new generation entrepreneurs in terms of, I would have done this a little differently if I were to revisit it, what is that you would say?
So one is that time, so 20 years back or 25 years back, no mentors, no coach, no one to consult. We are first generation entrepreneur today. So a lot of mentors are available, a lot of coaches are available. I think whatever support required, we should not hesitate to contact them. That is one. Funding option also available today for all the companies. So it's funding or PE, so with the investors, and then you can do. In that process, you should create a very good team. The team is very, very critical. High performance team, as well as think well, you have to tell, articulate, and so 1 minute.
We lost Mrs. Anuradha Sriram's connection, I think.
Yeah, I think there's some problem with the connection. Better to turn off the webcam. So I just.
Okay, all right, no problem. Please continue, Mr. Sriram. Sure.
Yeah, so that's what. So they have to talk about engaging a story. They should talk about their revenue models. So if they are able to convince, I think whether it's you are in the initial startup stage, a lot of angel investors are interested in investing. Maybe the next stage. So VC funding is available. Even it's a mezzanine funding available from private equity if it is a certain size. So there are multiple options are available.
Okay. Integra started doing M&A, sometime in the 2000s when it was very uncommon among Indian companies. So how did you, what prompted you to look at mergers and acquisitions? Was it the business demand that made it, or what are the reasons that you started pursuing that?
It's mainly because of business demands. Earlier, we used to do with US-based customers. They normally pair with onshore competitors. They will do very high-end services. We'll be doing a downstream services. So upstream, they'll be doing downstream. And gradually, some issues, some communication, not only with us, other Indian vendors, with US vendors. Then their customers decided, so I want to give, whoever is having an office in India and US, so we will be giving work. We are not going to work. So whether it's upstream or downstream services, so only one company we want to give. So that's how it has started. Then we have started looking at multiple companies for acquisition. So we have visited many companies. So around close to 10 companies we have visited in US for acquisition. And finally we have zeroed down on 3. Then finally we have acquired one company in near Chicago, outside of suburb of Chicago. That's how it's because of business requirements. That's how we have acquired. And within few years, we have acquired one more company in New York also. So it is always it's acquisition. Yes, all this we can do well. After acquisition, it's called PMI. They'll tell post-merger integration. So they'll light aside. So it's a post-marriage integration. So like that, so it's a lot of understanding issues, cultural issues. Because if you look at, I'm talking about 15, 20 years back. So usually US companies, European companies, they'll come and then buy Indian companies, not other way around. So again, one is that ego. Second one is the cultural. Third one is they are not, commercial orientation was not there. Then fourth one is, if you look at not systematic, not organized, because it's all small companies, not very big companies. So a lot of differences we have to learn each other and then do. So that's a challenging process that post-merger integrations we have gone through a lot of challenges.
Okay. Again, coming back to your role in the CAI, how do you nurture future entrepreneurs? Is there a program that you personally take interest in and do?
Yeah. So So actually, I'm a co-chairman and CII Southern Region Entrepreneurs and Startup Forum. So, and in addition to that, I'm in the National Council as well. So, Startup Forum, CII Startup Forum. Last 6-7 years, we are doing a lot of initiatives. So, in fact, we have one is policy advocacy, working with the central government and state government, especially for startup policies to create good environment ecosystem. And in addition to that, we have visited many countries. We have visited part of CII, this group, so to Israel, US, UK, and multiple countries we have visited to understand their startup ecosystem. We have picked up a lot of input, and then one is, so we have shared with the government, and then they have done a lot of policy changes. So in addition to this, so we are having a startup forum within CII itself. So all startup companies join. It's a separate forum available, so that we are having a various initiatives available for them, various webinars and other things we are doing. Right now also we are doing for a survival kit during COVID pandemic time. So what are the various incentive schemes are available for the entrepreneurs, for the startuppreneurs, so that they can tap in from the state government as well as central government. In addition to that, mentorship program are also available. So because we are already having access to the startup entrepreneurs, so we are having every year, so continuous mentoring program is going on for various startup companies, various entrepreneurs.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, Vasu.
Sorry. I think we lost connection somewhere. Sorry, please go ahead.
No, I've shared, Vasu. So every year we are doing a mentorship program for various startup entrepreneurs. So part of our, because we are having access to the startup companies, they are part of our CII Startup Forum. So that way we are able to provide to so many companies, entrepreneurs mentorship program.
Okay. In fact, I was about to ask you, who did you look up for mentoring during your journey with Integra? Were there any indirect or direct mentors that you had in your journey?
Absolutely. So absolutely, I have gone through mentorship as well as coaching also. So each stage, so I have gone through, I have taken certain stage. If you look at around 7-8 years back, so one other person. So for coaching, I have taken, and then I have gone through that process. Subsequently, again, so one more person for the different requirements. So based on, so actually we have done a 360-degree feedback. So I have taken input from my peers, from our customers also, and they have looked at, and then what are the coaching requirements. So based on that, I've undergone the program. Twice I've undergone the program also. It's very useful. I think it is required. Sometimes they'll tell blind spots will be there. Maybe we are not aware of. So by that 360-degree feedback, so we'll get all that input. So we have to take that positively, and then we have to work on that, and then we have to move forward. So in that process, a lot of things also we should unlearn and learn. So certain things you have to unlearn, and you can call learn or relearn also. So that is what we should do in that process.
Excellent. In fact, Mrs. Anu, you had mentioned in one of your interviews about having a spiritual mentor. How did that spiritual mentorship help you in your leadership building?
Yes, I think he played a great role. His name was Shankaran. He was a school teacher actually. Sriram had him even before we got married. So for me, of course, I think initial years was fully with Integra, but somehow I think in between when I attended this meditation program, I found this whole new world of spirituality. I tend to distinguish between religion and spirituality. It's similar, but there is still some differences. So he helped me, our spiritual mentor helped us a lot In fact, even for business, he was very constantly guiding us, though he doesn't understand business, but the kind of qualities you have to handle challenges, I think,
Yes.
and especially traveling, transforming work to karma yoga. I think that is the biggest learning, where your work tends to be more selfless, and then it actually then you get to have an impact on a larger landscape or a larger canvas, and the equanimity of your mind. So that, I think,
Excellent.
helps you have a balanced approach and take the right decisions. And also, like and now I think everyone has realized that a high EQ is very important for leadership positions. And
Yeah.
I have personally felt that spirituality has helped me improve my EQ, and also that happiness is not after you achieve something, is not based on achieving your goals. It has to be the process of achieving the goals. We tend to think, if I
Yeah.
achieve this amount of revenue, or if I do this, or if I get that, I will be happy. Till then, I should hold my happiness. It's not like that. I think happiness is a continuous process, because that goalpost is only going to move, and you should not keep shifting your happiness. So things like that, and of course, we are in the journey of discovering ourselves and of discovering the higher purpose in life. And so I think practices such as which our spiritual mentor introduced us to and encouraged, like meditation, yoga, and
Mm.
reading our scriptures or Bhagavad Gita, all that, I think, as for me personally, it has made me more self-confident, and
Excellent.
also fearlessness. That's two coins of the same thing. So you
Yeah.
tend to have a higher purpose in life. I think you tend to see your life differently, and also your fearlessness. So then automatically your self-confidence also increases, and
Mm.
also the attitude of sharing and giving. And I think that also has come through. All of this has helped us
Excellent.
in
Excellent.
the
Thank you.
continuous process. And
Thank you.
when you
Thank you so
talk
much.
about the mentors, I definitely want to mention about our board members. Sriram can share. He has a great mentors in the board. Sriram, since he asked
Yeah.
about that question.
Yes. So in addition to spiritual mentor, so you are talking about earlier, I had a mentors as well as coach. Now board is there. So we have inducted 2 independent directors. One is C.K. Ranganathan, Kevin Kerr, Chairman and Managing Director. He is in our board as independent director as well as Chairman of the board. He is also helping and mentoring in the board to how to think differently. Though we are doing well, so he will tell different ideas, different perspectives. So how further we can accelerate. So these are the various perspective we'll get. In addition to that, we are having one more independent director, Mohan Rangan. So he was earlier CEO,
Yeah.
and then multiple IT boards is director, independent director. He is also in our board. Last 10 years,
Okay.
so he is in our board. He is also helping, guiding at various stages, whatever we require. So we'll be bouncing off with some other input or ideas.
Excellent. Excellent. And who have been your inspirations? I mean, there's a question for both of you. Who have been your inspirations globally, or within India? In what form have they inspired you?
So maybe I'll go first. So for me, so I am part of CEO bouncing board. It is a unique in India. So it's not there in many places in India. So 10
Okay.
non-competing companies. So last 10 years, every month, half a day, we are spending time on sharing personal, so our family and our business. So in that, so it's not all non-competing. So that way, we will not hesitate to share. So we'll all freely share. And
Okay.
so one scribe will be there. So we'll be noting down in case we have gone through some challenges, some achievements. At the end of that that update. So it's called update, 5 minutes you have to give update. Once over, so one person, so that scribe will talk about, these are all the challenges you have gone through, anything you want to give a presentation during next meeting. Or these are all the achievements we want to learn from you. So please come back. So because lonely at top, so here, so we are having, I'm inspired with this entire bouncing board group. So I am learning every time, every month I'm learning from them. They are all our, so they are all leading industrialists in Chennai. So whether one is Kevin Carr, CMD is also there, C.K. Ranganathan. So again, there is a beginner group, Srinivasan, Bharat Matrimony, Muruga. So again, Kaveri Hospital, Aravind, Dr. Aravindan. So like that, lot of people are there in our bouncing board. So every month we are meeting and then learning. Last 10 years without any, not even a 1 month gap, except maybe in holiday time we'll be having 1 month gap. That's all. After that, so every month we'll be there religiously. In case we are coming late for even 1 minute, so you have to pay 2,000 rupees fine. So that's how. So there's all, we are waiting for that meeting. So that's, I'm inspired from that. So it's a lot of learnings from the peers.
Excellent, excellent. Mrs. Anu, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think for me, my first role model was my mother. Because even those days, she was a graduate and she was a working woman. She was a social worker in Jipmer. So I always grew, we were only 2 daughters. So I always grew up seeing my mother working. So for me, so to build a career and a lot of inspiration on how she managed family and her work. So I never felt as a child that I have been compromised because of her career. So I think that outlook helped me from the beginning. And several other, in addition to our spiritual mentor, who always was a big source of inspiration for us. CKR continues to be a big inspiration. Every time he will challenge us in the board meeting and bring out the best in us. And various, I'm also part of Indian Women Network, where I tend to interact with, which is a CIA initiative where I tend to interact with a lot of women entrepreneurs across south of India. So a lot of learnings from various people. And though it may, I don't want to sound philosophical, but I think our biggest thing is we are very much, Sriram studied in Ramakrishna Gurukulam near Trichy or Tirupuraithurai. So we very much attached to the Ramakrishna mission. And so how simple is, so our current Bible is the Gospel of Ramakrishna. So how simple his life has been. And like I was, before I was talking to you, I really used to dread these trips to the US. Then I saw this movie on Swami Vivekananda, how many years he has lived in the West, under what circumstances. So that really, so after that I started, I reduced my tripping. So like that, each person, and of course on the business side, I think I keep watching a lot about Steve Jobs, how unconventional his thinking was. And on the Indian side, for example, Asim Premji, how philanthropic his mindset is, and how professional at the same time he's running his company, though he's very low key compared to others.
Right.
So like that, always whomever I read, I tend to pick up many good things.
Excellent. There is about 17 minutes left. I have a couple of questions, or maybe I'll just stop with this and I'll take some questions from the audience who have been sending some questions. But my last question, or probably my last but one, talk a little bit. I wanted to know a little bit about your philanthropic activities, and I know that you are also into organic farming and things like that. I know these are things that sometimes, you know, given the nature of spiritual and philosophical things that Mrs. Anu said, it is natural that you went this way and started doing these things, considering the way you want to look at the economy, country, and everything actually. But please share a little bit about your philanthropic and organic farming initiatives, which might be of interest to the attendees also.
Yeah, sure, Vasu. So one is, so initial 3 years we were focusing on business, so no focus on philanthropic or any other, because it's a survival. After 2 years only, so fourth year, fifth year, I started making profit. Then sixth year onwards, we have started doing a little bit to the society. That's how we have started. 13 years back, we have started our own foundation. It's called Sriram Charitable Trust.org. It's a website also there. We are doing various initiatives. So under that, 6 different initiatives we are doing. Education, environment, to different underprivileged people. A lot of initiatives we are doing. And if you look at, we are doing last 20 years. So government, they have introduced in India, so that 2% of their profit. So they have to CSR budget. So we have started doing almost last 20 years we are doing. That is one part of that. My great grandfather started a school. It's 137 years old school. So my father was managing earlier. So last 4-5 years, both myself and Anu started getting involved. And then we are managing that. It's purely for underprivileged people. So we are doing this. Close to 1,000 plus students are studying in Madurai. So we are running 2 schools there. This is about our continuously we are doing on the philanthropic side. So on the organic side, so we have read various articles in the newspaper, magazines, that over usage of pesticides, chemical fertilizers unintentionally, and again over usage of artificial flavors, so artificial colors, artificial various things. It's all in the food process. A lot of issues, the cancer, to different problems that people are going through. So then we have decided why we should not do organic, so that it is harmful, so that we are not using any chemical fertilizer, any chemical pesticides. So that's how we have started doing. Last 10 years, we have started doing that, and it is doing well. In addition to that, this is a commercial portion of organic farming, and we are model farming we are creating. Government of Tamil Nadu is bringing a lot of teams from various parts of Tamil Nadu to see that how we are doing, and they are learning and then going back, all the small farmers. In addition to that, we want to give back to the society also. We love nature, both myself and Anu. So that's how we have started creating a small private farm forest in our farm. So close to 10,000 trees are there today. So in our farm, and in addition to that, close to 20,000 trees we have planted in and around Pondicherry and Kadalur. Close to 30,000 trees we have planted. So in addition to that, so what we have done 6 years back, every year, because our foreign customers, we used to get some unique gift, and then we will send it to our customers.
Okay.
We have decided why we are sending a unique gift. So because it's a climate control, climate global warming, climate issues, so many things are happening. Something we should do to the society. How we can link that, whatever we are doing in the private forest. So we have started planting tree, sapling on behalf of the customers. Then we'll take photo, and then we'll create a digital certificate, and then we'll send it by email. So that is what last 6 years we are doing. So everyone, so all our customers, close to 2,000 plus customer contacts. So we have sent certificate, and every year we are sending it. It's not a one time and then we'll forget. So we have put in name board. So their name will be there, their company name, where they exactly are working, their designation, what is the name of the tree. So name board is there for each tree. So we'll take photo every year, how much it is growing. So they can see. As soon as I meet them, first question, they will not even ask, how are you also? They'll ask, how is my tree is doing? So that is the connection we are able to connect with our customers. So this way, we have changed conventional gifts to green gifts. So this is about our private farm and private forest. In addition to that, so again, water shortage in our area. We have created around close to 10 farm ponds. Close to 33 million liters during rainy season we can collect and store. So that will recharge the earth, that will recharge the aquifer. So that way we are able to contribute something to the environment, ecology, because every 5 years, 1 degree is going up, 1 degree centigrade is going up. So that means it's hotter and hotter. So it's happening. We should give back to next generation, our children and grandchildren, in nicer way, good way. We should give the environment and then we should leave. So that is the reason we have started doing this also.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. I'll take a couple of questions that have come our way actually. I think one you answered already, but the question is, are there anything from the past that you feel you could have done differently?
Okay. Nothing is coming to my mind immediately. Anu, anything you want to share?
Yeah, I think always there is a lot of learning. We learn from our mistakes. I think especially one thing was when we took the investor on, we gave a majority shareholding to them. Though we did not need that, we were very naive. I don't know what we thought at the time. So we took a majority shareholding, and then so there was a struggle. Though we have very good relationship with the board, there was a struggle between long-term investment and short-term results. So there was some anxious, some differences in thinking. Luckily, I think in now 6 years back, we bought back when they wanted to exit. So we very much helped them in the exit process, and at fair market value, we bought the shares back from them. Of course, we still have very good relationship with the investor. Even when we had the cyclone last week or week before, they called and checked if everything is okay in Pondicherry.
Okay.
So to that extent, we are still in touch with them. But I think it was we were not having enough experience when we are not thought through fully. That's why, like Sriram said, that mentors are very important. Those now this access we have to the kind of people who help with whom we can bounce off the decision is very different now compared to those initial years. And also, I think the one of the acquisition didn't go well, especially when the New York one, we lost a lot of money in that. You can imagine we had an office in Manhattan. And so, in fact, looking back, we think we bought the entire shareholding out. We believe that we should have kept the investor, I mean, those founders' skin also in the game, in which case there would have been more alignment. I think that was, I'm just thinking on the major learnings, and always in terms of building the team and getting the kind of people. So sometimes we have not been very successful. Then we realize the cultural fit is very important. So now we meet few times because it's not alone. I mean, it's we have to help the candidates be successful. They are leaving their jobs and coming and joining Integra. So we feel that we need to invest more time to make sure that they will enjoy the work here, and we will also be able to derive value from them. So like that, in various situations, I think it is, and also I think with some customers, I think some contract negotiations, so how to make that win-win deal. So a lot of learnings like that.
One this thing I want to add, Vasu, so is the second acquisition went wrong. So that time we should have done a lot more due diligence. So that's a big learning for us, like Anu has also touched upon a little bit. So we should have done so upstream development company than that particular company. That's we have learned in hard way. And again, subsequently also, we should have reduced our losses. So that is also we have taken time. We want to give a long rope. Then board has to tell that intervene and then discuss that whether we should continue or not continue. Then only we have taken the hard call. So it's a big learning, that second acquisition for us.
No, I kept smiling because these are things that for us, some of these learnings are, that we have also had in the recent past. But I'm so glad that you are sharing all this. I don't know how many people are listening and, taking cognizance of these things, because one of the biggest challenges, or one of the biggest assumptions, I should say, is a lot of people think that entrepreneurs come with all the knowledge in the world and that's why they are successful. The fact is there is so many mistakes that you commit and then learn in the process. I think without that, the success at the end of the day doesn't even happen, and it's a continuous journey. So we're so glad that you shared all this, Mr. and Mrs. Sriram. Thank you, actually.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a couple of more questions here. I think you have answered this in some form, but let me repeat this. What would be your advice to budding entrepreneurs?
One is, I think this thing is always today, they are looking at a short term. I think they should not look at short term. So when you are starting itself, I want to sell the company. So that should not be there. I think you have to start with your passion to solve whatever the critical problem, and you wanted to grow the business. And then if it is required, part of the process. So either some investment, so angel investors or others are coming in, and part of that you want to go to IPO, or part of that you want to exit. That should come natural process. I think we should keep in our mind that, so I'm going to start, I'm going to sell, means then the way we are thinking is it's going a lot of times not in right way. So that is one piece of advice I want to tell. You want to sell in the longer term, you can sell. I'm not telling, I'm not against. But only thing is, look at always long term. You grow whatever is required for the company. Either investment required, you look at the investment. So in case only the exit option is available, that time you look at the exit option. But not with the mind that I'm starting the company, within 2 years I want to sell, or 3 years I want to sell. That should not be that. That's one piece of advice I want to tell. The second one I want to tell to budding entrepreneurs is Tamil. They'll tell, I want to tell in Tamil this alone, Vasu. Ellarum sadhikkavargal, ellarum sadhikalam. Like whatever we have achieved, you can also achieve. So you're all born to achieve. So you can do that. Only that self-confidence required. The positive thinking is required. That's what in the spiritual. So earlier Anu has also touched upon. So it will give a lot of value, lot of importance for positive thoughts, because that is the starting point. So if its thoughts are very positive, and whatever you are thinking, whatever you are speaking, whatever you are doing, all three are aligned. So you can achieve whatever in your life. Again, I'll repeat, whatever you are thinking, whatever you are speaking, whatever you are doing, all three should align, and it should be positive. Then we can achieve in our life.
A very, very important point, actually. Whatever you think, you can achieve if your thoughts are positive and if you are aligned. Great point, actually. Okay. Let me see if there are other questions. Mrs. Anu, please share your thoughts also for budding.
One particular point, don't wait for a big idea what you think will be successful. We started something as low-key as a DTP center. I think it's, of course, you need to do your research and you need to analyze competition and all, but I don't think any of the large enterprises knew that they are going to become as big as they are today. So you need to start somewhere, and then so from there pick up the threads and see if the same line, or you have to change course, all that. But you should not get stuck. If you have a good idea, you need to take the plunge, and I think a positive outlook and self-confidence. And if you have some like-minded partners, I think the journey becomes more. You are not so lonely. You have people with whom you can share, and who will be able to support each other.
Just one point I want to add.
Prudence. Sorry, Yago.
No, go ahead, Anna.
I think the financial prudence is also very important. So a lot of people, instead of just getting stuck to what you are very passionate, you need to see the organization from various angles, from both the finance side, customer side, and the marketing. So you need to, even if you don't enjoy some of these roles, I think better to get advisors like what Sriram said, who will be able to critique and give you some valuable feedback.
Just a couple of more I want to add that was. One is whatever wave is happening, be part of the wave. So when 25 years back, it's outsourcing wave happened. So that's how we have grown. Similarly, right now it is the verb is it's emerging technologies, whether it is artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, RPA. So many areas are happening. That's new for everyone. It's a very big company, small company, everyone. It's new. So why don't be part of the wave we are there? So you'll be moving. So a lot of opportunities will come. Definitely you can grow. So that is one more point. The one more point I want to share is I'm part of the CI, that entrepreneurship and startuppreneur forum. More than ever, India requires more entrepreneurs. So if you look at 64 next few years, 64% of our population will be in working age group in India. So still a lot of people are looking at job seekers. I think you all should be job givers. So you should be entrepreneur and then you should give a job. That is why we are looking at creating a startup ecosystem we are creating. So with working closely with state governments, working with central government. So today, the third biggest in the world is India for startup ecosystem. I think we are confident we will be moving towards first position. So you can all be, so start a company and then you should be entrepreneurs and then you should give a job to others.
Sure. Thank you so much. I think we are almost at the end of this, and I just wanted to thank you both again. Why did we start this session, Surari Potri? Because we wanted to honor and make people aware of people who have walked the path before us. Actually, as at its infancy stage today, Zuci Systems is also trying to become an Integra someday. And there are so many companies like Integra that are out there, and you have all taken the path before us and walked the tough road ahead, actually. So this session is meant to honor people, like Sriram and Mrs. Sriram. And I take this opportunity to really thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us today. I'm sure there was a lot of information, wealth of information that you shared today. It was very useful for me, and I'm pretty sure the attendees also were benefited. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today. And we wish Integra and you good luck in all your endeavors. Thank you so much, and good night.
Thank you very much, Vasu, for inviting us. Thank you, participants, for listening to us, and then hope you'll be learning a lot of things from us. So whatever we have shared. So anytime you can reach out to us, any other input required, we are ready to share.
Absolutely. The session will be anyway recorded and it will go live on social media forums. So I'm sure people will reach out, and Integra is not small. The website and everything has so much of information. And of course, personally for me, I will also seek out you for mentoring as we grow in this journey, Sriram and Mrs. Sriram. Thank you so much. Good night.
Yeah. Thank you, Vasu. Like I said, wonderful initiatives. So all the best.
Thank you.
To Zuci Systems. Best wishes to all the participants also in whatever is their aspiration. Thank you. Sure. Enjoy doing this session.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.